Hello, welcome back everybody. I am the Bradley Assassin. This is the Bradley Assassin YouTube channel. Today is another cryptocurrency mining edition. For those that follow the channel, know that I've been in cryptocurrency for quite a few years, and I've also been mining cryptocurrency for quite a few years as well. We have one video out kind of going over some parts related to cryptocurrency mining if you're attempting to build a open air graphics card rig. Well, I have something a little bit different today. This is a server case, all-in-one 8-card mining case. You don't need the PCI risers. They all go on the case, and the kit comes all put together with the motherboard, the power supply, the processor, the memory, everything all built in one. And obviously a lot of this stuff is really hard to get right now. And I actually had to order this guy from China. Wow. Now, I understand that's a pretty big risk, and so I took the risk so the community didn't have to. Of course, down in the description below, I will leave links to the actual company I used, the price I paid, and everything you need to know if you want to put in an order for one of these guys. Now, there are some companies in the States that have them, but I paid around $350 shipped for this. And to my understanding, these things are in upwards of $1,000. Now, I had to wait 2 months for it to come in, but it's here, it did come in. So without further ado, we're just gonna hop right into it and review how it comes straight out the box, what it looks like, and if it's actually what it says it is and whatnot, because we know how difficult these things are to get right now. So this is it. All I've done so far was actually open the tape just to make sure that it was actually what I ordered, but I did not unbox it or anything. So let's go ahead and move right into this. Pretty big package here, so bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's packaged pretty well. Got some foam sheets here. It's actually, yeah, packaged very, very well. Built, it's got the blue protective film for the stainless steel part, and it's got the hard foam edging so that it doesn't shift around in the box. Not bad at all, coming all the way from China, and even the box is in decent shape. So it seems to have survived the transit without any problems. So let me see if I can get this guy out of here. It's pretty heavy. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, again, and then they had some foam on the bottom too. So pretty well packaged. And it actually comes with a little bag of screws here, as you can see. So let me toss this out, just like that. And then we'll take this and put this sucker right here. Wow, okay. So I'm gonna get the foam out right here, and then we'll get a closer look, and I'll double check on my second camera to make sure that the footage is catching all of this. And I'll do some close-ups with my phone in a second. But like I said, unboxing this for the very first time, I wanted to do it completely on camera. Oh, kind of hard to get off right here. Let me see what's going on. Oh, I see. It's the handles for the server case. I have to get around those guys. Okay, like this. We're gonna flip it this way, and once again, okay, perfect. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and rotate this guy so we can get a good shot over here on this camera. As you can see on the back, we have a power on-off button, a reset button, 2 USB inputs, and you have a hard drive button, I'm sorry, indicator light showing that things are working. We have 4 case fans already built onto the case, ready to go. And then of course your handles back here for the server power supply. So we're gonna rotate this bad boy like this. And whew, it's hot working with this stuff. And back here on this side, you can see we have the slots for the graphics cards outputs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as expected. On the front side, I mean on the continued on the back side, we have the power supply input right here, and then of course an on-off for the power supply input. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to take this case off, and it looks like only 3 screws holding the very top of the server case on, ladies and gentlemen. So access to the top of the case seems to be very easy. As you can see, here comes the top of the case straight off. No problems at all. And as you can see here, we just opened the very top of the case. This is what it looks like from afar. So we'll come over here, and as you can see, built right into the case is the power supply. And then moving to the back, you can see we have the four case fans built in, ready to go. Okay. It comes with a power cord, which is surprising. I wasn't expecting that. And then here is the board, which some people call an octo board. As you can see, like we were explaining, they have 8 PCI Express slots built right onto the board. Okay. And we have all the power cables coming out of the back of the power supply, ready to be plugged right into your graphics cards. Okay, and a little bit further back here, I'm going to try and make it so everyone can see. Way down in here, we have the processor built onto the board. Okay, and even further back here, we have the memory already built onto the board. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here. So the kit comes complete, all you need to do, ready to go. At this point, is plug your video cards right into these slots. Okay. Being that everything comes with it ready to go. Outside of that, all you need is software to handle the mining, cryptocurrency mining part of it. And what we're going to do there is on the front where they have the USB slots, we're simply going to create a flash drive that has Simplemining built onto it, and I'll show everyone how to do that in a minute towards the end of the video. We'll plug that right into it. It's a Linux-based program. It just runs in boots. It's not Windows-based, so it just runs and starts up for you. You pick the mining software you want remotely from your computer or your phone, and then of course you can BIOS flash your graphics card depending on what card you're using, and we'll touch on that in another video. But you can adjust the clocks and the voltage and stuff through Simplemining software, and we'll get into that also a little bit later in the video once I have this all set up and running. But this is the kit, comes complete. You almost need to do nothing. It's very, very nice. Stick your cards in there and go. And once I get it up and running, I'll get some more footage, and we'll hop on over to that segment in a second. But that's kind of it for now. That's it. Okay, so even though I said I wasn't going to do this, I went ahead and gutted my entire cryptocurrency mining farm to avoid confusion of my previous 36 card setup. So I gutted the room, and now we have a nice clean view for everyone to see. And as you can see, I built this room, and we completely insulated it with styrofoam walls. Okay, and I sealed up all the cracks and everything. And as you can see here, I have controls for a roof exhaust fan and 2 fans built into this room, which are directly above me. And let's see if we can get a shot of that. See the 2 fans up here on the ceiling, 1 and 2, and they pull the heat directly out of the room. And then of course the control panel for the electrical that I did from scratch myself. We have a 30 amp breaker, a 20 amp breaker, and 2 15 amp breakers. The 15 amp breakers control the lighting in here, and the normal 110 outlets for fans, and then we have a 20 amp breaker for more of the fans, and the 30 amp breaker down here. And as you can see, what I did was for my 30 amp breaker, I ran directly to a PDU, a power distribution unit, and this allows me to power most of my power supplies from my mining rigs. And then down below I have some more 220 outlets for more power as needed. I made sure I wouldn't run out of power. And what I did at the bottom of the room, if you can see, I actually built intake ports to bring fresh air into the room. You see that there? Let me go ahead and move this case. So that pulls fresh air directly into the room. And obviously when these dual 18-inch exhaust fans are running, it creates a pretty good suction in here. But back to the cryptocurrency mining rigs. This is the server case that we were working on earlier. Obviously I have my internet coming into the room right here, and all I did with the case was obviously from earlier in the video, I took off the little bar right here, which is just like a secure bar once you have all your cards in place, you just pop this back on and screw it down, and it holds the rear of the graphics cards in place. Okay, but I have that off for now because I just put in one RX 580 gaming edition. I put it into one of the PCI Express slots, I should say. And then of course, here's all the power cables coming directly out of the power supply unit. But I ran one, it splits at the end, so we have, on this particular model card, two 8-pin connectors, and that's it. I plugged them right in. I didn't touch anything else. All this came connected, as you see here. All this came connected. Now what I'm going to do is I have this USB here that I installed Simpleminer.net on, Simple Miner software. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in right here on the front. Okay, in a USB slot, and that's it. It's a Linux-based program. You don't need Windows to run it, so you can control your cryptocurrency mining rig and or rigs remotely from either your computer or your phone. So I'm gonna set this down and see if we can get it to power up. Okay, so we're gonna take my power cord, which is running directly from my PDU at 220 volts. Remember, this setup is made for 220 volts, so that's gonna get plugged right into the power supply here. Okay, and we're gonna cut the power on back here. Okay, remember my PDU is not powered up yet. And then of course we're gonna take the Ethernet install right there, and we're going to plug this in to the Ethernet on the back of the mining board. And as you can see back here, there's input for a couple more USBs, an HDMI, and the internet. So we're going to plug this right into the Ethernet spot. Will allow me. Okay, just like this. Okay, now this is the very first attempt at powering this up. So what I'm going to do is cut my 30 amp breaker on. You can see here, powered right up. No problems. Woo! Fans are blowing incredibly hard. Graphics card powered on. Okay. Graphics card is running, fans are running, power supply running, power light. Okay, now we're going to head on over to the computer and see if Simplemining.net is seeing the rig. Okay, and as always, every time you boot up for the first time, there are normally BIOS settings that you need to take care of to make sure that everything's working properly. So as you see, we hooked the monitor up to one of the USB slots on the new server case, and of course a keyboard. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we're powered up over here on the monitor. Okay, then we're going to power this bad boy up again. Now it gets loud, so bear with me. Okay, and now we're in the BIOS. We want to make sure that the boot up sequence is set for the USB. Okay, it's currently set to SanDisk Pro, which is what we want. We're going to switch to fast boot. Okay. We're going to let it attempt to boot and see what happens. Okay, well it shut down, so that's not what we wanted. Okay, there it goes. It's rebooting. I didn't touch anything. It just started again. Let's see if it sees the USB. There it goes, it's seeing the USB. Okay, so it says did something. Currently trying to boot. Okay, it sees the rig. Now it's going to attempt to log in. Okay, so it's booting up. It's just not seeing my registered rig at simpleminer.net. Okay, so I need to go and add rig, it says. So we're going to move on over to the computer and take another shot at it. Okay, and here we are on simpleminer.net, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, the 3 rigs you see in the image are my rigs that I have disconnected. So there's nothing in there. And they told me to come to Simpleminer and click Add Rig. So we're going to do that. Okay, it says in order to add rigs to your account, you need to give permission for this process. As everyone who knows your email, okay. Okay. So it says allowing rigs to be allowed, adding rigs for 120 minutes. So they give you 2 hours to add the rig. So we're gonna wait a few minutes right here. Okay, and as you can see up top, right here, it found it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and once we've added the rig and it shows up in our, under name here, in our rig list, you want to make sure that you go to account, global settings, and enter your Ethereum wallet ID address. This is where all the coin you're going to mine are going to be sent to. And that's a global address. This is what's Simpleminer is going to go ahead and put that in no matter what mining software you choose to use. And in our case, what I did was I went to group config, and you see here the rig that's up showing 1 of 1 cards right now. Obviously, if I had 8 cards in my rig, it would be showing 8. But you go into miner programs, and this is where you choose what mining program you want to use. You click on change miner, and I personally chose Phoenix Miner, and when you click on this, it'll bring up all the Phoenix miners they have available. And 3 of them are beta. 1 is the very newest one. I had a lot of problems with that one. So I chose 5.4, and you click use and then save that information. And what it's going to do is it's going to reboot the rig with that miner running. And as you can see here, under miner options, it shows you what pool you're using, I should say. And it's ethermine.org. And so keep that in mind for a second. But we'll go back to rig list for now. And as you can see, you have one rig running right now. It has 1 card in it. This is my Ethereum server rig. We're currently running at 29.63 mega hash. And then it gives you the card temperature and the total wattage being used. And I have Phoenix Miner being run on it. And if we go to this action button right here, the information button, you get a whole list of things you can see. They have a console here showing that things are running every time you find a share, and of course your mega hash. And right here you see the actual card. It tells you it's an MSI RX 588 gigabyte. I'm going to show you my clocks in a second, but it shows you the hash rate it's running at. It shows you the wattage that the card is using, and the total wattage of the rig. Of course, if there was more, there would be more. And then the current temperature and whatnot. And up top, you have an overclocking button. If you click on that, you can set your core clocks, you can set your memory clocks, you can set your undervolt, and then target temperature, fan speed, and all that kind of stuff. So everything running really well in Phoenix Miner right now. And like I said, remember, this is being sent to Ethermine. So of course, if you go to Ethermine right here, what you're going to want to do is whatever the wallet deposit address you are sending your Ethereum to, you're going to punch that in right here, and then it'll bring up a dashboard for you. It'll show you then how many rigs you have running. It shows you your balance, what you've earned, your current hash rate. And this is really small because I just got the rig up and running, but let me refresh. So yeah, you see right here, this is when we started running it. It tells you your average hash rate and everything like that. And after an hour or a couple hours or so, you'll be way up here with an average hash rate. And then of course, on here, you can set when you want your payouts to happen, certain payout thresholds and all that sort of stuff. But it's really nice. A lot of it's taken care of for you in Simpleminer. Remember, you need to make sure you go to global options, put your wallet ID address. That way your coins that you mine get sent to whatever wallet you want them to be sent to. And that's it for now. Of course, as we add more cards, we'll touch and update our mining rig, this one specifically, but the equipment works perfectly. I had no issues with it. As you saw, we basically just plugged up our graphics card and hooked it up to the internet, gave it some power, and then made a few simple adjustments in Simplemining.net. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it for now. Thanks, everybody.